Hey y'all, we are live. Hey, my name is Kelly. I work in student engagement and
I'm Shafalika. I am the Vice President of Organizations for Student Council.
Shafalika and I get to work really closely together, which is really fun with all the CIO things. And so it just happened to work out that the two of us get to do this video together today. So we're going to talk a little bit about delegation. We know you're probably thinking, like delegation takes more time, I can do it all myself. I get it. I've been there. In some ways, it is easier just to do things your own rather than delegating. But I think our goal at the end of this video is to convince you that delegation is so helpful. It really empowers and inspires your members and gets them more motivated and involved, and it actually makes less work for you in the long term. So we're gonna talk a little bit about that, some ways to help you delegate more effectively and just ease your workload the rest of the semester as it relates to how you lead your organization. So why delegate? And I'm pulling a lot of this info, from our leadership library, so we can make sure you have access to all of this later. But delegation is basically an ethical responsibility leaders owe to themselves. So you owe it to yourselves, to those that you work with, to your organization. I know, again, that sometimes it feels easier to just do it yourself. But when you do that, you're actually robbing others the opportunity to grow, to learn, to flourish, and to really be involved in the organization. So it does take a little bit more planning and forethought, but we promise it's so worth it. Okay, so for those of you that are leaders of your organizations and you're the ones delegating to various officers and your members, some things to keep in mind are that delegation allows time for planning, it allows time for organizing, it allows time for other pursuits. So we know you're involved in a ton of things, and actually the more you delegate, it'll free you up to focus on your schoolwork, focus on your friends, your family, all your other fun things that you do outside of your organization, because we know you've got a lot. And so it also teaches valuable lessons about how to work with and develop others. The more you delegate, the more you learn about yourself and about different people and how to motivate different people and get them involved. And you're actually molding others for leadership to take on your work after you're gone. And as amazing and incredible as you are, as leaders, we actually are replaceable. We do move on to other roles, and you're going to eventually pass the torch on to someone else. So the more you can delegate and help your members grow, the better it's actually going to be long-term for the organization. And it'll just help things run more smoothly for them and for you. It also builds trust and encourages open communication within your organization. So Sheffy is going to take it from there.
Yeah. Just in general, delegation has been very, very helpful, I think, especially for us in student council. There's so many things to do, and if you do it all yourself, not only does it take so much longer and stresses you out so much more, but you don't get anybody else's ideas in there. And so that's something I've learned, just is that other people have plenty of their own takes on how to get tasks done, and that can actually increase the effectiveness of what you're doing and make it more fun to be collaborative like that. But in general, some of the things that you'll see in the library is that delegating just increases, like group trust and motivation, and builds everybody else's self-esteem up. It's important to trust that your members can do things to the same level that you think you can do things, and then they feel that trust and they think that they're valued in their club with you. So that's also important. But some things are important to keep in mind, like seven points that you'll see online that are just key to how to delegate well, is you have to be very specific about what you're doing, what you're asking for, because if you're not very specific and they give you something that's not what you're looking for, it's just gonna make you have to do it again. So be very specific about what you want, and then let them take it from there. Make sure they know how to do it. Don't kind of throw them out there without knowing how to use the program you want them to use, or without knowing exactly how to change the color of a certain thing. And give them, like I said, the authority to take action. Let them choose, have some autonomy in what they're doing. And of course, they'll need a time frame just to know exactly how long they have to do it. Otherwise, they might feel like they have to do it immediately, and that might stress them out as well. And on the same thought, let them know exactly what you want as your outcome, and make sure you're giving them feedback as they go. so that they know whether or not they're on the right track. And finally, like, you can keep the control. You don't have to completely let them decide, your members decide on what you want to do, and how like, if you're making a guide, how that's going to look, or if you have an event, how people are going to be invited. But let them come up with ideas, at least. Delegate that side of things. And if you want to have like the final say in certain things, that's totally fine still. You're not getting rid of control just by delegating. You're simply allowing other people to help you get to the final project. And then let them have some say in it and be like, yeah, this is part of my event. I did this. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's great. And I think the giving feedback is key. You know, you're delegating, but, you know, checking in intentionally, you know, say you're the leader of an organization and you've delegated 4 or 5 projects to people. It can be tempting to just be like, all right, great, I delegated it all, it's done, good. But I would say maybe try to add a reminder on your calendar for a different day to check in with different people on their projects and be like, all right, I'm going to check in with Shivalika today, or I'm going to check in with Tom tomorrow, or just to, you know, see how they're doing, see if they have anything they want to run by you. You can give feedback and, again, empower them to make it their own, and yeah, work towards that final result. So cool. So those are like 7 quick tips. If you're more of a visual person, not like video visual, but like want to see it in a worksheet or written form, log into the leadership library. If you go to @UVA and then scroll down, look to the right under campus links, there's a link there for the leadership library. You can log in through NetBadge. It's open to anyone in the UVA community. And then find the delegation folder. And there's a worksheet there with some different tips and tricks. So that is there if and when you need it. And then Sheffy and I are generally around the PAC. So we're in the Programs and Councils office on the 1st floor of Newcomb. So please come stop by, say hey. We're always happy to talk through any specific scenarios or questions you have about delegating within your organization or what you're learning about this. And yeah, last but not least, if you have any fun stories maybe about delegation, or maybe a success story, or something maybe that you tried to delegate and it just didn't work well, but you learned from it and grew from it, and it was just like a really good resiliency story, we'd love to hear that too. So please comment or message us, and we can't wait to hear from you. So cool. Happy delegating, y'all. Bye.